South Carolina has held in abeyance the appeal of Alex Murdaugh. Fuel me once here, driving instructor of the world. Let's talk about what that means. So because they have to argue back at the court level that convicted Alex, the Court of Appeals has to pause their appeal, their consideration of Alex's appeal, until that case is already heard. So the Supreme Court has paused it and turned it back to Judge Newman for consideration. Now, Judge Newman is likely to be called as a witness in the new case against Becky, the law clerk, because he had interactions with her about dismissing a juror and also about a few jurors' behaviors. For example, the juror that got dismissed, Becky investigated that claim, even though it's not a claim she should have investigated at all. She should have nothing to do with it. She needed to turn it over to the judge and did not. She only turned over her supposed findings to the judge and lied about those findings, it turns out. She claimed that the juror and her ex-husband had been drunk the night before, and he posted on his Facebook page that the juror was talking all about the case and how Alex was innocent. It turns out that the two hadn't talked to each other in about 14 years, and the juror had 3 restraining orders against her ex. The judge, meanwhile, said, well, produce this Facebook post, and of course Becky couldn't, but she goes back and finds an apology that the supposed ex wrote, and apologizing for his behavior the night before and claiming that he shouldn't have said what he should said. Now, it didn't get specific, and it turns out it's not even the same ex. It's a man that has the same name, but not the same picture, and law clerk Becky, clerk of the court Becky, knew who that ex was and knew what he looked like. But the judge didn't know any of that, called in the juror and said, hey, have you spoken to your ex about this? And she said, no. And the judge said, well, have you spoken to other people about it? And she said, well, no, not really. And because she was so hesitant, he kept pushing and pushing. And finally she said, well, I mean, we've talked in here about it, which is not supposed to happen. The jurors are not supposed to talk amongst themselves. So he dismisses her, all on false pretenses, all because the clerk of the court, Becky, said and knew that she was going to be, the juror was going to be a pain for them to try to get Alex convicted. She was apparently one holdout, and all the jurors knew it because they'd been discussing the case, which they should not have done. Something else Alex Murdaugh's lawyers have brought up. Now, this isn't just in the depositions that they filed. This is in Becky's own book. Not that she lied, of course, but that she found this material and the juror was suspect and everything like that. So there's a lot to unpack here. It's going to be an interesting trial. The judge is going to have to recuse himself because he will be a witness. They'll have to find a new judge. They may even move the trial. There's a lot going on. We're going to have to stay tuned with this one. On the road of life, please drive kind. And don't make up stuff. Don't lie.